Hello and welcome to the eBusiness Boss YouTube channel. My name is Sam and today I'm going to show you how we do our keyword research for our Amazon listings. Specifically, I'm going to show you how you find those high traffic, highly relevant keywords that convert and generate sales. But just quickly, before we get going, I want to remind you to subscribe to the YouTube channel and click that notifications bell so that you know when we're uploading useful videos just like this. We do that every single week and that way you're not going to miss out. Anyway, that's enough of that. Let's jump into my screen and get going. So guys, before we get going and into the keyword research tutorial, those of you that are fans of the channel will know that we are big advocates of the Helium 10 software. We use it pretty much for all aspects of our Amazon business and it's no exception when it comes to keyword research. It's the main tool we use. So today, much of the tutorial will be using Helium 10, but thankfully through us, you are able to, if you're interested in using Helium 10, you can use our eBoss 10 code to get 10% off every month, or alternatively eBoss 50 for 50% off your first month. All details of that I'll be leaving in the description below. If you do use one of our codes though, I do need to mention that we do make a small commission. So yeah, I just wanted to mention that before you go ahead. So anyway, let's get into it. So where do you start when it comes to keyword research? Well, you're probably at this stage if you've already decided on your product, obviously, and perhaps your order is in process, or maybe it's even in stock already, and you're now ready to create your Amazon listing. But of course, an Amazon listing has to be keyword rich. What I mean by that is you need highly relevant keywords, but they also need to have high traffic as well, and you're looking for that combination. So it's all good and well me telling you that, but how do you actually find those keywords? Well, the starting place essentially is you've got to this point, you've identified the product you want to sell based off some competitors' research that you've done. Your product research led you to a point where maybe one or two products that you found have contributed to the product you're then trying to create. So let's say, for example, our order's gone in, we've ordered some kitchen hanging fruit baskets that we're going to sell, and we're now looking to create our listing for that product. Well, this was the listing perhaps that we used to prompt us to want to sell that. We found this listing, we looked at its sales and all the other criteria that we look at when deciding whether we want to sell a product or not, and we really liked this one and we thought that we could replicate it or hopefully better it. So this is your starting point for your keyword research. You want to be getting all the keywords that this seller is using in their listing and what they're ranking for that are generating their sales. And you do that by finding their ASIN. And if you scroll down, if you've got the Helium 10 extension, it will pop up here. But again, you can find the ASIN down here. So you would take that ASIN, you'd go over to Helium 10 Cerebro, you'd put the ASIN in here and do the keyword search. As you can see, I've already done that. What we then do is we have our very own Amazon keyword research spreadsheet. Now, as you can see, there's different tabs along the bottom here, and we work our way through doing each of these tabs until the end. We're going to have a master keyword list here, which I'll get to later. I have pre-populated all of these, otherwise this video would be far too long and you'd get very, very bored, but I will explain each part of it for you. So, as I said, let's hop back over. So I put the ASIN in here. This is the product. Here's all the keywords I'm interested in. I want to know what they are ranking for. So great. You can see over here, vegetable basket. Good search volume, that over 5,000 searches a month. Very relevant to the product. And their organic rank for that keyword is 1. So they'll be generating a lot of their sales from this particular keyword. Again, they've got another one here. Produce basket for kitchen. Okay, and it starts painting a picture of the kind of keywords that you're going to want to be putting probably in your master keyword list. But you need to be able to sort these and work through them. So what we do is we export these over here and then into a CSV file. Again, I've already done this, and it will look something like this. The only information we need for our sheet are the tabs that I have, or the columns that I've highlighted in yellow. So what I would do is I would take the information from here and just copy and paste it into the first tab, Cerebro Competitor 1. And as you can see, it's nicely in here. So we've got one competitor, but that isn't enough for us. We like to get a broader spectrum, and because there could be keywords you miss if you just base it off one competitor. So we like to do at least 2. So what I would do is I'd head back over to Amazon, and I want to be finding a few more examples of products like this that are selling well and looking for their keywords as well. So let's pop over here. I have gone into the hanging kitchen baskets category, and as you can see, what I did is I went through here and found the highest ranked examples that are exactly the same. So that one and that one. And what I did is I've opened them up in some separate tabs over here and done exactly the same process again. All I want is their ASIN. It's all I'm interested in. So I'd take that and then put it through Cerebro exactly as I did before. And you would end up with a list like this. And likewise, exactly the same. Copy and paste that information into the second tab of your sheet. You're building a picture now. And then again, exactly the same for the third competitor. Find the ASIN. There we go. Straight over. Exactly the same process into Cerebro again. Export CSV. You get the picture, okay? And it looks like that. And then it ends up, once you've copied and pasted it, you're back in here. And you've now got 3 really valuable sources of keyword data from 3 good sellers of the product you want to sell. I mean, that is invaluable information. You can work out where they're getting all their sales from. And they'll be sharing keywords across the board between these 3 competitors. So that's one stage of it. You've got a lot of keywords to work with now. But what we also like to do is we like to use the magnet tool on Helium 10 as well. And what that is essentially, let's hop over there, magnet, you find it over here. What this does is you put in a keyword that is relevant to your product over here. So I'll put in hanging fruit basket. And then you click get keywords. And what it does is it gives you all of the keywords that Helium 10 can find that are relevant and related to this main keyword. And again, this is another really good way of finding your keywords that are going to be useful for your product, because there might be a few that you find via this method that you haven't found using Cerebro and your competitors' listings. They might not have had them in their listings, for example, or might not be ranking for them, but you can pick up on them using the magnet method of using a keyword to generate other keywords. This way, we find that you're basically leaving no stone unturned. You're going to have a very comprehensive list of all the relevant high traffic keywords that related to your product. And that is basically the building blocks for where we go next. So as you can see, what you would do, sorry, I didn't show you there, it's exactly the same. Export CSV and you end up with magnet. Looks slightly different, but again, got the same columns. So you're looking for the, like I say, I've highlighted them in yellow. All you need is the information from there. Copy, paste over here into your magnet keyword list. And then, so you've got your basis now. What we now need to do is copy the keywords from competitor 1, 2, 3, and the magnet main keyword and put them into a sorting list. What you then do, so what you're going to have here, let's just show you, for example, I mean, look at this. Hundreds here, thousands probably under magnet. I know when I looked and did this prior to doing the video, there's thousands of keywords in here, thousands in here, and thousands in here. That's a lot to go through and can take you a very, very long time. This is why we need to do the sorting list, because one of the main parts of this, or one of the more important parts that saves you time, is you put all of the keywords in here and you remove the duplicates. So what you would do is you would have your full list. You'd have a full list of keywords in here and you'd select remove duplicates. I've already done it, so it won't. There's no more to remove as such, but that then condenses your list right down, so you're not repeating yourself. The next stage is I would go through the long list and I would basically, any keyword that I think is slightly relevant to the product at this stage, I stressed slightly relevant. It doesn't have to be super relevant, because even slightly relevant keywords can be beneficial, especially if there aren't many highly relevant keywords for you to use. So at this stage, I'm being quite loose with my criteria, quite open, and I'm just doing slightly related keywords. And I'm making my way through it. I'm marking them in red. So you end up, again, it's still quite a long list, but you're reducing it from the list that would have been before. Let's see if I can scroll down and give you some examples. So as you can see, this long list has ended up with being condensed to 143 keywords that I've highlighted in red that I see as having some sort of relevance to the product that I'm selling. Just to give some examples here of keywords that you get come through from these searches that obviously aren't relevant here are things like storage bin, things like that. What else have we got? Laundry basket plastic. I mean, that's got absolutely nothing to do with the fruit hanging basket, vegetable and fruit hanging basket that we want for our kitchen at all. So again, you need to sort through and get rid of these ones that aren't relevant to your product, and you'll be left with this list. And that's what the sorting process is all about. The next phase, and probably the most important part, is you then take this list and you move it over to create your master keyword list. Now, at this stage, what I would do is I start getting a little bit more critical and I fine tune the process. So as I said before, there will be some loosely related keywords in this list. Now, once I get into the master keywords, all I'm really interested in is highly relevant keywords to my product. There's no point in me having, if there's plenty of options out there for highly relevant keywords, there's no point in me having these slightly related ones in the listing, because I want to convert the customer. I want people to be searching for something that relates to my product. So it makes complete sense. That's what you want in there. And obviously, the other main thing is you want that high traffic, because without traffic, you don't get any sales. So that's what this whole process is about. You're working your way through your list to find highly relevant keywords that also have the traffic that you're after. Thankfully, with this product, as I was going through, I was finding there was loads of really highly relevant keywords. So this is actually a really good example of, you're going to have loads of options here for keywords you want to put in your listing, and then also keywords you want to target on your launches. You're not really restricted. There's loads on offer here. This part of the process does get a little bit, once you've got your list of keywords you like that are relevant and they're high traffic or they've got good traffic, this is where it gets a little bit more subjective, and it depends where you are as a business, what kind of finance you have to back you on your launches. Because this color coding on the side here, let me explain that. So we look for three yellow, we call them yellow keywords, gold keywords. We're looking for at least three that we want as our main keywords. And these are the keywords that we are going to target with our launches and things like that. And they will need to be in the title. And if we can't get them in the title, they're definitely in the bullets and again in the back end of our listing. These are our main three keywords. You've then got these purple ones. Again, these are very good keywords that we want in our listing. We want them to be scattered throughout our bullet points. And again, if there's room in the back end. You've then got your blue keywords here that if there's room, we will have them maybe sprinkled in a couple of the bullets, although probably more so in the description where there's a little less weight on keywords. And that's how we use those keywords. The green ones are sort of the peripheral keywords. They're still useful, but maybe they don't have the traffic that we're after, or maybe they're not quite as relevant to the product. But what these tend to do is be part of our, they may still be sprinkled in the listing somewhere, again, if they're relevant, if it's appropriate or there's room for them, but they're more likely to just become part of our PPC campaign and also form how we create our backend keywords, which I'll show you in a moment. So that gives you an idea of what the color coding means and how we rank the keywords in terms of importance to us. Again, I talked about subjectivity here because hanging fruit basket, for example, fantastic keyword for this product. However, I want to put, and again, look at not only is it highly relevant, the search volume is amazing. However, look at that CPR 8-day giveaway. That means how many products do you need to give away over that period? And that's a lot of products. 272 products you need to be giving away over 8 days in order to rank for that keyword. So that's quite an expensive task there. So again, if you've got the budget, that could be appealing to you. If you're just starting out, you want to be looking a bit further down here for relevant keywords with good traffic, but they're going to have slightly less giveaways needed. Let's have a look at an example here. So 3-tier fruit basket. Perfect. Just describes exactly what the product is. It's got a search volume of over 1,000. Again, that's good. Still good. That's going to generate you sales, and you've only got to give away 32 to rank for that product, rank for that keyword. So I've put it outlined the keywords in this order, and I've just for the purposes of this video, I've done it based on high to low search volume. But as I've said, this is quite subjective, and it will depend on you and your budget for the kind of keywords you can target in your listing. So, and with your launches. So that sort of shows you how we get down to that final, I think it's 50. Yeah, we get down to 50 keywords. That's what we narrow it down to. Although, as I've stressed, in the importance of the ones that we want in the listing, we're looking at sort of 10 here, possibly going up to 20 if you include the blues. But when you do your PPC campaign, we recommend you put all 50 of these into an exact match. And that's why we do 50. As I scroll down, you'll see here, these are the ones that I had moved over from the sorting list, but I decided that I didn't want to include in my master keyword list, but they still remain on here, and I'll tell you why in just a moment. So that's the main crux of how we get to our master keyword list, which is why you're probably here in the first place. But I'm just going to offer you a little bit more detail now in some other bits we do. So when you create your listing, you will realize that you need backend keywords. And you might be wondering, well, how do I decide what my backend keywords are? What do I need in there? And what you don't need to do is be, other than maybe these three or the keywords you're targeting for your launch, they must be in your backend. We always recommend that. But other than that, you're looking for words that haven't been picked up in your listing. And the way you can find that out is, first of all, you need to condense all of these words, phrases that are on your master keyword list, and I include these on this. So what I would do is I would copy all of these phrases and I go over to the Helium 10 Frankenstein tool. As you can see, I've put them into here, copied and pasted them into here, because what we want to do is we want to remove any duplicate words. So you're left with just one word at a time that you need, that you've identified as being part of your master keyword list. So, for example, you've got hanging wall basket, hanging wire basket. Well, straight away, you only need hanging once, you only need basket once. You don't need to keep repeating yourself. So that's what Frankenstein does to help you with your back-end keywords. So what I've done is put it in here, click process, and you end up with this list. What you do next, as we've done, and I've shown you here, is we put this over and we put it in here as a basis for our backend. Okay. The next stage is the Misspellinator, because what that does is sometimes you'll find that there's room in your backend. Maybe you don't have that many backend keyword options, and there's still room in your backend. And you should try and fill the backend of your listing in with keywords. And I say that because you don't want to leave any stone unturned. And when it comes to misspellings, sometimes people are typing in misspellings of important keywords in your listing that could end up generating you sales. But if you haven't got those misspellings in your listing, then you're not going to be found. So that's what Misspellinator offers. So you take that list of keywords that you got from Frankenstein that are your basis for your backend keywords at the moment, you put them into Misspellinator, click prepare, and in here you would pick the keywords. You can select all of them or pick the keywords that you're interested in seeing whether there's any misspellings for. And I did that earlier, and I clicked hanging fruit, basket, tier, vegetable, a few others here, the main keywords. And then you find the misspellings, and it gives you a list like this. Now, what Amazon will do is sometimes they'll autocorrect a misspelling. So as you can see here, when it says yes, it means they've auto-corrected it. So you don't need to worry about putting them in your back end of your listing because Amazon auto-corrects for you. However, great example here, hanging instead of hanging is a common misspelling of the word hanging, and that's a big keyword that you're probably going to have in your listing, and Amazon do not auto-correct for that. So this is a keyword you may want to have in your back end because you may want to be picking up on people who are searching for hanging fruit baskets and writing hanging. So this is just one example. There's a long list here, but what you do is you copy these and you put them in here. And in that example, there was only these 4 that came up. So as I said, you may not use these, but they're a good thing to fill your back end with if you've got space. So it's worth doing. We always do it, even if we don't end up using them. It's good as a reference point. Finally, the reason this tab scribbles is highlighted in red is because this bit doesn't necessarily relate to the actual keyword research process itself. Where scribbles comes into play is once you've actually taken your master keyword list and you have written out your Amazon listing and you now want to work out which keywords you haven't used out of these, which ones of these keywords are not being picked up in your listing, and then they will form your back end. So that's where scribbles comes in. So without me writing a listing, which I haven't done, I can't show you exactly how we do it, but I'll just quickly hop over there and give you an idea now of how it works. So I've taken our backend, the basis of our backend keywords here from Frankenstein. I've put those into Scribbles. And then what it does, as you can see, when you type in, or when any of these keywords from your phrases are picked up in your listing, it crosses them off. So I just typed in hanging fruit basket here, and as you can see, it's crossed them off. What you would then do, obviously there'd be more as you'd fill out the bullets and everything, that you may end up with a much more condensed list where there's hardly any unused words in your listing. If that's the case, that's a good sign. It means that your listing is definitely keyword rich and you've got all the important keywords in there that you need. But what you would do is you would copy these unused keywords, and then they would form the back end of your listing. And that is essentially the whole keyword research process. The only bit I haven't shown you is how we then apply these keywords to a listing. But again, I'll do that another time. We'll show you that another time, I'm sure. But hopefully from seeing the methods of how we actually find the keywords, you're going to feel in a better place now to go ahead and apply this yourself. As you can see, using Helium-10, you get comprehensive data. It's pretty foolproof if you follow this method. You get that master keyword list, and then you should feel confident moving forward that you can rank for these keywords and then in turn start seeing the fruits of your labor and the sales that you're looking for. Yeah, and that essentially is it. Hopefully you found this useful. If so, please give it a like. And if you have any questions, please leave them in the comments below. Finally, what I forgot to mention, is if you'd like access to this sheet, then head over to our product research course. The link for that is in the description. If you'd like to see more useful videos on things just like this, then please subscribe and turn on the notifications bell. We add videos like this every single week. So yeah, stay tuned. Thank you very much and see you again soon. Thanks a lot.